Real talk, real life, real growth. This is Raw Reality with Tori Story and Fit with Lily.
Hello, besties, and welcome back. We have a lighter, maybe hearted episode today because we haven't done some updates for a while, and we're due for a pregnancy update considering I'm in my third trimester.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so keen for like a bit more of a lighthearted episode and just to kind of sit down and chat as besties and then have, of course, our other informative and valuable episodes, which you guys loved last week's.
Yeah, you did.
And we also loved recording it. I really feel like it hit right in terms of the timing in society at the moment. So if you haven't listened to that yet, definitely go. It's all about like the skinny talk trend and how to kind of get your mindset out of that. But today we're going the opposite direction and talking about a bump on a belly.
Yeah. And we're both pretty tired today. Yeah. I'm just going to go straight into my updates, but I had a massive like front half of the morning day yesterday because we got a new couch, we got a new rocking chair, we got new desk, new rug, and so like did the whole thing, and it was just so much lifting. So it was like Jackson's desk and like lifting the old couch and the new couch, and like probably shouldn't have, but like someone's got to do it.
And whenever you have a big day or half day or whatever it is, game over the next day.
Literally, we've seen that pattern. Yeah. So just feel like it's gonna be a work from the couch kind of day after this. But the house is coming along so nicely.
It looks so good.
So obsessed.
It looks like a new house.
It feels like we've just moved in.
Yeah.
And the new couch is just unreal. So I'm obsessed. And then there's like a few little like artwork pieces that I want to fix up. And then pretty much once kind of it's decluttered, like all the new furniture's in the new place or in its place. But once it's all like decluttered and like kind of sorted through, and like there's still a lot of like stuff that needs to go to the warehouse. And then we can start the nursery. And I think like his cot, drawers and rocking chair is getting sent today. So that should be here like
where's that going
timing.
for the time being?
I don't know. You should see the garage. The rubbish guy is coming today.
Oh, Mike
is coming to do a collection. So hopefully it kind of works in time because our paint for the warehouse is getting delivered today. So the boys are like, well, Jackson's like, I'm going to get in there and start.
So essentially, is that what they're saying to do, is like painting the walls?
Yeah, so we paint all the walls.
Right.
I think we've got mostly black and then we've got like one feature wall.
Right.
And then the outside of the pod studio is all black.
Yeah.
And then I think the golf sim and then the boardroom black.
Yeah.
So like a fair bit of painting and then the panels can go on and the carpet. Yeah. So, but I think like this week, next week, it'll all be happening, which is great. And
thank Lord. I feel like I'm just waiting. I'm like, every day I come in, Kate with this morning was like, oh, Chris came in and did a few things like yesterday. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
where? How? But it's all the things now that you don't really notice, like electrical wires and things like that and adjustments. I'm like, it looks the same to me for the past 2 weeks. I'm ready to keep pushing and get it done.
Yeah. So I think this weekend's going to be huge in the warehouse, which will be nice. And I think we'll really see some progress because like the paint comes today.
I'll be there
Carpet's
Sunday.
going in Friday, yeah. I know, it's like the weekend that Kate's going away and you've got so much on.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, so all hands on deck. And I'm like, I really want to paint, but like I can't because of the toxins.
No, the fumes would be so bad.
So
for you.
bad.
Like even stepping in there.
Yeah.
No.
I know Cruz or Zach have like a thing
mask
you can put on and like you literally don't breathe any of it in. And then my acupuncturist was like, you can get special gloves for like pregnancy painting.
So like my thing is though, what you probably can do 10 minutes, be so exhausted, your hands above your head, you may as well
it'll just be for the real.
Yeah, I was about to say, just like
for the content.
Or hold your breath, run into a few things, I'll film you, then get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what will be happening because got a lot of content to get. But it's like all coming along now. I feel like it's the home stretch and then our baby moon is next week.
That's crazy.
Wild. That's come, and I wanted everything done before the baby moon. But I also feel like coming home, hopefully the warehouse is somewhat done. And then it's like from coming home from baby moon, it's like I'm just plodding around the house, like doing his nursery.
Yeah.
And like really starting to slow down.
Yeah.
So
that'd be so nice.
yeah.
Wow. I feel like there's just been so much happening, but also the same things. It was my birthday yesterday, turned 27, which is crazy. But I've been saying this a little bit lately. 26, I spiraled. 27, I'm feeling content. And I don't know why or what, because I feel like 26 now sounds really young. I don't know. Anyways, I feel like I'm fine with 27. 28 sounds a little bit scary. 29 sounds even scarier. But 27, I'm like, happy. Let's like just chill here for a year.
Like the happy medium.
The biggest thing that I did different is I told everyone I'm 27 since January. So in my mind, I'm already 27. So that really helped me. And we went to Light Years on the weekend. Oh, it's just, they always just hit. It's so good.
I want it like as soon as I get back.
Yeah.
Give me a bad one.
Yeah. You didn't have the bad ones.
No, I did.
Oh.
But I'm just saying like,
Oh,
I
you
want
wanted it
it
again.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's delicious. And then yesterday was honestly just like a chill day. Mum surprised me from Melbourne over the weekend, which was really nice. And yeah, the weather was just stunning. Did all my favorite things. You know, you have a good life when you kind of have another day, but it's your birthday and you don't feel like you have to change too much. Like trained, walked, still did some work and just like went to fishbowl with you guys. And I was like, oh, that was so stunning. So that was really good. And then what else has been happening? Oh, I have a story. I actually have two stories.
Yeah.
Both of them involve very similar region, I guess.
Yeah.
But number one, went to the doctors and I haven't found a good GP in Gold Coast yet. I keep going to the exact same clinic, but having a different doctor at that clinic, and I'm up to my third one and it's been a bad experience again. So let's just steer away from that clinic. It's just walking distance, that's why. But went there to get blood like referral, which in itself is impossible to get. I swear doctors just do not like giving you blood.
I'll give you the basics, but it's like as soon as you know you need the extras, they're like, no.
He was like, it's going to cost you. And I'm like, correct.
They're like, I'm happy to pay.
Yeah. And it ended up being $60. It sounded like he was making it was going to be hundreds. And even then I was like, it's fine. He's like, it's going to be costly. And I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to pay for it. Yeah, literally. But that was the whole thing. And then there's other things. But basically, then he was like, oh, it's coming off my screen that you need a pap smear. And I was already at the point where I was about to like burst into tears because he was just not really listening to what I was saying. And I just was like ready to get out of it. I'm like, you brother, you are not giving me a pap smear. No way do I feel comfortable with you. I was like, do you have an at-home test that you can give to me and then I can send off? And he was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay, that's great. Can I have it then? So he stands up, he's going through all of his cupboards and he was like, and he pulls something out, like literally just like a singular swab in a tube. No labeling, no packaging, nothing, just a single swab in a tube. And he goes, I think this is it. And I was just like, you think or you know? Like, I'm about to put this up my vagina. You have to know if that's what it is. And he was like, yeah, all you do is kind of like swab your vagina and then put it back in and send it off. And I was like,
and it's like send it to where? But it always like even with like gut microbiome, it comes with clear instructions of how to do it because you have to be specific and how to send it back, how to seal it up.
Yep. Literally, there was no way to write my name on it. Nothing. Also, you have to touch your cervix. It's not just a quick swap around. Like you need to get up and in there. And then he gives it to me and I'm holding it and he's like looks confused on his face and you can tell what he's thinking. He's like, oh, actually I'm going to get a second opinion from another doctor. And I was like, what is happening? Anyway, takes it away, comes back a minute later. He's like, nah, that's not it. Takes it back off me and puts it in the cupboard and goes, you actually can't get it from here. And I was just like gobsmacked. I'm like, has no one asked you for this before? Secondly, you should know if you have it or not. And you should just know.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're not confident, just say no. Don't just give it to someone and then be like, oh, actually. I was just like never going back there.
Yeah.
I was just actually too stunned to speak. No, that was just the whole thing. And then anyway, secondly, my period was quite late. I was actually starting to get a little bit concerned. My period is always on time. And if it is late, I'm never really concerned. But this time, I was just like,
she might be joining the mum club.
I was like, too many of my friends are pregnant and I'm a little bit skeptical. There might be something in the air at the moment. And it was like 7-8 days later. I think I got to 10 in the end, which is crazy for me. But I got really sick. I then got staph and then I got really stressed. And it was just a whole thing. My body just wasn't happy. And anyways, the other day, I had a tampon in as one does. And then I put another one in and I was just like, you know when it's just like hard to get in? And I was just like, oh, that's just like wasn't fun, but whatever, it's in now. Just kind of felt like a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh, I'm like literally going to bed now. Like whatever. I'm not walking around. I'm not working out.
It baffles me that you wear a tampon to bed.
Yeah, I just like, I can't deal with sitting in a nappy. I can't do it.
Like you're going to sleep, like let it breathe.
Oh, I just can't. I don't know why, because I'm just like, my days are like heavy. Like if I wear a pad, it's leaking out the side and I'm just like, can't do it. I don't know why. I'm just like very on my tampon game. Anyway, it's probably not the best for you, but whatever. And I go to sleep with it. It's kind of uncomfortable, whatever. I wake up in the morning and I pull one out and two come out. 2 tampons come out, which means I've slept with 2 in my body. And I was like, oh my God. And you could tell that it was like it needed to come out because it was like they're ready. And I was just like, no way I fucking did that. My whole I don't know how long I've had my cycle for, but the years that I've had it, I've never done anything close to that. Like how did I do that? So anyways, there's a little bit of information for you guys.
I'm baffled.
No,
Surely there's a lot of like tampon stories out there.
There 100% would be because
So-
we have a friend in our group who's done something very similar but worse.
Yeah, send them in because we'd love to read them out.
Yeah.
You can send them anonymously or like just don't put your name on it. But would love to do a segment on this because I feel like it's not spoken about.
No, especially as girls, like so much has happened. Like I remember once when I was in school and I like started leaking. I was in year 9 and I was like, I had a white and grey school dress. Like what school fucking does that?
Ours are white and blue.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, like what do I do? And thank God my mum lived across the road, didn't work. And she literally had to come to the cubicle, drop it off to me and like help me. But I'm like, oh my God, like being a girl, it's just so hard.
I remember
sometimes.
every time at school I had my period, I'd like be in whatever class and I'd stand up and be like, hey, can you check the back of me?
Yeah.
Every single class. And it's like I never had my periods have never been like heavy, but it's just like that paranoid feeling of like, and can I see red on my white dress?
Literally, especially the guys at that age don't really understand yet. Like no one's really as comfortable talking about it. And even I remember I was at cheerleading once and I got so nervous to even go to my bag and grab a tampon because I didn't want anyone to see. So whenever I had my period at cheer, I would go to the toilets before I went in and I would hide 2 tampons under or like behind the toilet or like under anything. This is actually kind of crazy thinking about it. And then so when I had to go and change it just in case, I could go to the bathroom and it would be already there for me. But I was like way too embarrassed to go to my bag, grab it and just in case I dropped it.
How old were you when you got your period?
I think 14.
Yeah. I feel like that's like I know people have it earlier, but I was 16, so I feel like everyone around me had it at 16, so it was more like spoken about or like, hey, do you have a tampon?
Yeah, and because I don't know why. I just like, I think I was also the oldest out of my sisters and I think that also put a little bit of taboo on it in a way. Like my other sisters obviously didn't have it yet, but I was really,
no one, like,
I hated it for so long. So yeah, send through your stories and what you used to do and if anything's happened and we'll dive into those.
Yeah. Any more updates? I feel like a lot of this episode will give you my updates.
Yeah.
So I won't go too far into it. But just I think really trying to like slow down at this point. Still like I'm just not great. Like I'm still nauseous.
I feel like you've gotten used to being not great. So now that's your normal.
Yeah. So I'm excited to feel good again. And it's like every single person has said to me that has kids has been like the second you give birth, like the relief of just everything you felt for the last 9 months, like it just literally disappears. But she's like, so many people have said, even if you have like a hard newborn, you won't even probably care because you'll feel like you'll be tired, but like you can eat properly. You're not feeling nauseous. Like you're not having acid reflux and those things. You don't have a big belly that just is like struggling to get up. Like I just think once that goes, even if he's not sleeping or whatever comes our way, I'm like, I will feel better. And that's the best part about it.
And when you feel better, you can also fill up other people's cup more and do more. And it's,
it's interesting. But I feel like I'll save my updates for the episode.
All right, sounds good. I don't think I honestly have too many more. Work is just full on, doing a lot there. Trying to find a balance between push and pull. And it's really, really, really hard. And I don't know how to do it.
Especially being in a building phase.
Yeah. And like, it kind of touched about the other day. I was just like, I got injured on Sunday. It's actually like okay now, which thank God, because I stopped and rested. I only trained 3 times last week. But I just like, things keep happening to me physically. And it's like my body is just telling me to slow down. And then people are telling me to slow down, but I'm like, I literally can't. Well, I can, but then something else has to give. And I'm just doing so much in our business that I don't really have time spare to just be like, oh, I'm just going to relax this afternoon when I'm like, well, I have this I have to do and that. And then if I do relax, then I'm stressed the next day. So it's just like really trying to find that fine line. And I think it is just that kind of busy season. And hopefully over the next few weeks, things will calm down. Fingers crossed. Like I just feel like it is. We actually go to Melbourne next weekend. Thursday, Friday. We have a business mentoring with Reese in person.
As in we. I was like, no, I am not going anywhere.
Like that. I'm actually in Port Douglas, sorry. But so I think that in person will really help. So I'm very, very excited for that. But yeah, it's all really good things. We're just trying to find the balance at the moment. And funny enough, when my period was late, the day that I got it again was at 10 p.m. at night, which is wild seems to me. Like I get it first thing in the morning, and it was because I took the afternoon off because our power went out at the office, and I was just like, well, it's a beautiful day. Let's just take Boston to the beach for a quick swim. And I got it that night because I decided to relax. So I'm like, okay, something needs to happen, but we're just figuring it out at the moment. Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard to navigate when you're in that building phase, but it's like you keep getting these signs of like, if you don't slow down, like you'll be forced to like, and it's not going to happen. But it's like when these things happen in people's lives, they end up in hospital and they're like, well, fuck, like I should have just taken time off. Because at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal.
No, exactly.
But
like no one's dying. So I always remind myself, Lily, you run an online coaching business. No one is dying. No one actually cares that much. And sometimes all I want to reply to people is like, I'm really, really trying my best. Just can you please be patient with me? But I'm like, they're fine.
Yeah. And it's like prep clients, sure. Like they're waiting on you for their cows and whatever. Yeah. But it's like the everyday client can wait.
Yeah, I know. So
it's all learning.
Yeah, and then it's also like I'm only doing 4 45-minute training sessions per week at the moment, and I'm like missing some here and there because I'm getting injured and getting sick. And I'm like, when can I just be good again?
Yeah.
But it's coming. It's coming.
I'm telling you this, it's coming.
Anyways, other than that, we're feeling great today.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Well, we're going to go. You guys have asked us some questions. I popped it on my Instagram and Raw Reality. Lil's just going to read them out and I'm going to answer them.
I am ready. Okay. I don't understand the first question. So, guys, fun fact, I actually know nothing about pregnancy. I'm learning so much from my friends getting pregnant, and I don't know if it's been a good thing or bad thing. Good thing because I'm more educated. Bad thing because I don't feel like I'm not like naive anymore. Like I actually understand things, which is slightly terrifying. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? Yeah. I've known a lot about pregnancy and I've learned a lot. And you just will. Yeah.
Like I know a lot about newborns and I'll still learn a lot.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah. Okay. Are you worried about pet aversion?
So
what does that mean?
This is like people, so the girl who wrote this in was like, I have 2 dogs similar to yours and just heard like sad stories of basically their pets getting neglected because the baby comes along.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, for example, who's just had a baby, she has a dog and her dog is actually depressed. And I caught up with her and she was telling me, it's so sad and like believe what you will, but her friend's dog passed away like not long after she had a baby. And she went and saw like a pet kinesiologist who like speaks to animals basically. And the pet said that he passed because he didn't know his place anymore because of the baby.
No way.
But pets can get so depressed because they get so neglected. Like you don't have time to walk them or like you're not playing with them because you're always with baby. Like, and Jackson and I have been very like, we both were just constantly like, we have to make sure we give to Ziggy because like friggin' he's our little angel. Like love the little king so much. And it's like we have to make sure we're walking him at least because at the moment he usually gets two walks a day.
Wow.
So like we try and like he has to get one, whether it's you or me or it's 5 minutes, it's in the park, like he has to. But I'm not really afraid of it. Like I think Ziggy will.
You're such an easy dog as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
he'll just chill.
Yeah.
I think Cavoodles are quite chill. And I've seen so many like people I follow on YouTube and stuff who have oodles and they just like love the baby. So I feel like Ziggy will be like, what the fuck at the start? And then he'll be like,
I reckon he's going to lean a lot into Jackson.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like,
he's obsessed with me at the moment.
Really?
I'm like back to number 1. So when I got back from Melbourne, I was not number 1. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But at the moment, when like we would come home, he would just like, he'd be all over Jackson, come to me for a second, all over Jackson. Now it's all me. And Jackson's like, what the hell?
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh, look, I'll take it because it won't last for much longer. We've got a couple months. But it's so interesting.
Wow. Well, that's like, Cade currently is like the play and I'm the not safety. I'm the sleep.
Yeah.
So when it's like he gets on the couch at night and he's tired, he'll sleep with me. He'll never sleep on Cade. If he does, it's like, what is happening? But if he's in a playful mood, he'll just go to Cade.
Yeah.
So it's like he knows his place there, which is actually stunning.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting like one day in the future what happens because Staffy's like, he needs to relax first.
Yeah.
I saw Staffy on a walk yesterday. And he was 4 years old. And I was like, he was like, oh, how hard's the puppy stage? And I was like, yeah, it's really hard. And I said, when did yours start calming down? He goes, 2, but he's 4 and he's still kind of crazy. And I was like, can you tell me that? Do not tell me that.
Shit.
Sorry. How do you feel about birth?
To be honest, I feel good, and I've felt good the whole time. I've from day one like kind of looked forward to it as like a new challenge. Like I'm always looking for that next challenge, and in this instance of my life it's birth and not like a competition. I vividly know that I had one day where I freaked out and I was like, oh my God, the only way to get this baby out of me is to give birth. But other than that one day, and I remember it so specifically, I've just been like so excited. Like I have kind of the idea in my head. I'm doing hypnobirthing, which has been, oh my God, if you're pregnant or planning on getting pregnant, highly recommend hypnobirthing. And it sounds like hypnobirthing itself sounds like it's like hippie or hypnosis. Like it's not. It's really about mindset and breath and working with your body, which I'm like, anyone that goes into labor without it is just baffles me because I'm like.
I also think as Molly, you and Jackson have kind of like worked together as a team and doing all of these things so you feel safe and you feel supported and you're like, okay, no matter what happens, like I know that I have my people around me.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like maybe at the start you're like, oh my God, like I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's happening. And then now it's like, okay, you actually have these tools to help you mentally calm down.
Yeah. And a lot of like we're doing a private class with our hypnobirthing teacher, and her name's Shari from Belly to Birth. She's amazing. And so we're doing it from home, 4 sessions, and they're like 3 to 4 hours. And a lot of the time it is for Jackson to learn about birth because it's like, you know, growing up as females and especially someone being very maternal, like I've always looked into birth and newborns and like I've always just been obsessed with that kind of content. But the boys don't do that. Like they're not listening to podcasts about birth and like talking about it with other dads and things like that. So a lot of the classes like is for him to learn like how to like all the techniques he can do for me, what to say at what moments, kind of learning how I want to be spoken to, and then obviously being my voice in the hospital of like, this is to happen, this is not to happen, and just all the different phases of birth and like transition phase and what it looks like. And I just think like the first session he was like, wow, like learnt a lot, especially like the birth phases because there's like quite a few, and like a lot of the time you see people when they go through transition phase, like they're almost sleeping in between contractions because your body's just conserving as much energy as possible for the next contraction. So she's like, you know, when she's like Daisy and not really speaking to you, like she's just in her world, like conserving energy. And it's just like so wild. And then we watch birth videos and it's crazy.
That is so crazy.
Honestly, all in all, I'm like excited. And I had a dream about my birth last night.
That is crazy. Like Tori had a dream about her birth and I had my first ever dream about Bub as well.
Yeah.
And that I held him. And I was like, why did that just happen? That is
so
crazy.
Wild. I dreamt that like I woke up in labor being like, I need to push right now. Like I literally lifted the covers up and I was like, I'm pushing. And then I was like, nah, not working. So I had to like get out of bed, lean on the bed in like a really deep squat. And I just did these 2 massive breaths and like pushed him out and then picked him up and had him on my chest. And he was a girl.
Crazy.
So I'm not sure what that's about. But I was like, oh, I'll take that birth.
Yeah.
And then I also did have a dream last week. This is this second dream. I've only had 2. But I had a dream that I got in the car. It was like you, Taylor, and Jackson. And I just started like bleeding like everywhere. And we were all just kind of sitting in the car like, what do we do? And like just blood like nonstop. So I was a bit terrified about that. But I spoke to Corey, our hairdresser / kinesiologist. And she was like, there's definitely like a bit of fear around it.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this, it was in Christina's episode when she interviewed me. But I have had, because like growing up since getting diagnosed with PCOS, it's like I've been told I can't have kids or it'll take a long time. So to fall pregnant so easily, I think there's always been this little bit of fear of like, well, something some way along the line has to be hard. So I think there's still a little bit of fear around what if something goes wrong.
Surely you're just like, my pregnancy has been so fucking hard. That's my hard. Everything else gets to be easy
Birth
now.
gets to be easy. Newborn gets to be easy. So it's just like kind of when that thought comes up, it's like, no, like what if this actually just gets to be the way I've always dreamt of it? And trying to like dispose of those thoughts. Yeah. But yeah, only 2 dreams of birth so far.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see.
So you're going on your baby moon next week?
Yes.
Wow. Or like this week if you're listening. Mm-hmm. Where are you going? How long are you going for? Are you scared you're going to give birth there?
Port Douglas, which I'm so excited about. I'm not looking forward to flying. I need to organise my safe to fly. But I'm so excited to just switch off and just really enjoy this last like holiday with just Jackson and I.
Are you scared about
that?
So
crazy. Not really. I was just like, well, you don't have a choice. Like it is what it is. And I just think this next chapter is going to be like insane. But we're spending 4 or 5 days there. I think it's 4 nights. And just like absolute switch off mode, like pool time, buffet breakfast. Cannot wait. Chill dinners, like just absolutely relaxed. We've got golf booked in one day. I've got pregnancy massage booked in one day. And I'm like, I just want to read and not do work and just like actually
Zen.
be a holiday that's like a holiday,
Yeah.
you know? And just relax.
I'm
so excited. It's come so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Because like what week will you be then?
I'll be 31.
No way, you're in your 30s.
31 the day that I leave.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so coming back, I'll be like going into 32, which I'm like is so fine. Like so many people do it, but I'm just like, oh, this is like the what if.
So
you know what I mean?
No, the thing that like low-key terrifies me is that's how close, because like whenever we like say you're like when you're due date, I'm like, oh, it's so far away. But then thinking about it, that's actually not that far, which means we're almost at the middle of the year.
I know.
Like
This year's fucking flying.
I haven't done anything this year.
Well, that's not true. But it does feel like that. And like, yeah, it's 10 weeks away until like my due date. And it like could be 2 weeks early, could be 2 weeks late. I don't know.
Could be like 6 weeks early. No, we're not doing that. You know, you've had a hard first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, all things. But first especially, how did you go around not really moving your body and exercising? Because you obviously didn't really train at all. And you went from doing everything with acro and then coming off the back of that, literally getting pregnant the day you come back to Queensland. And then you went to basically nothing and not moving your body. How did you feel around all of that?
I think that was the hardest thing, was like going from 100 to 0. And I've not really ever had a consecutive 16 weeks of not training like at all. But it was like it was physically impossible. Like I couldn't even drink water or eat food, let alone get myself on a walk. And I think I just kind of surrendered in the end of like, okay, this is the universe's sign that like you need to slow down and honor your body. And I was speaking to, I think it was Shari, my hypnobirthing. And, you know, there's so much out there online that's like train in pregnancy. It's so good for women and their baby and their bodies. But I think it really does come down to everyone's body, because for me, I'm such a tight, strong person that's trained like as a gymnast my whole life. So I'm very like pulled up. I'm always sucked in. And for birth, you have to learn to let go and relax. And so I think the reason, or part of the reason that I did get sick and like haven't been able to train as much, is because I've had to learn to just like relax my body to make my birth easier. Like that's just where I'm sitting with it, because I think I would have just been this like, I have to train every day. Like if I wasn't sick, of course I would have kept training. But I think it's been a learning curve to relax as I go into labor and also newborn phase, where it is going to be slow and I do have to learn to relax. So I think it's just like everyone's pregnancy is like what they need in the moment, as much as it sucked and like I don't want to vomit 12 times a day, but it was what it was. And yeah, I just think like you can't preempt what your pregnancy is going to look like. Like I thought I was going to slay and train and like, you know, I've always looked after my body.
Have the pregnancy glow.
Yeah. And it absolutely didn't and still hasn't. So
You're definitely still glowing.
thank you. And yeah, like you can feel good and look good on the outside, but on the inside, like I don't ever feel good at this point. And like you said earlier, you just kind of like, I've just gotten used to that. But what was the question again?
How did you navigate that? Essentially not training.
Just accepted it. I just had to surrender, because there was nothing I could do. Like I was just trying to keep myself and this baby alive and eat when I could and drink when I could. And it's like when you get to that point, it's like, you know, if you're in hospital, it's like you're just trying to get better. Like you don't really care about training and things like that. So I'm like, well, in, you know, however 6, 7, 8 months time, I'll be back training again. So it's not a forever thing, and you do just have to surrender and do what your body needs, especially in pregnancy.
How's your mental health going through all of that? Because you can tell yourself all of these things, but it doesn't make it necessarily any easier.
Yeah, that's a different ball game. I think Oh, I struggled early days in first trimester because it hit me. Like the second we flew home from LA, it was like, you're on your deathbed, like what it felt like. So then it was just like literally 100 to 0. So I was slowing down, which was a shock to the system, and like learning how to deal with that. And then I feel like, I don't even know what happened in second trimester. I feel like I got somewhat better. That's when I got back into Pilates like once a week, and I could start to eat a little bit more. And then coming into my third, I've struggled the most mentally, I think, because I haven't necessarily struggled with body image, which I know that's a question as well, but I think it's more I'm just so uncomfortable and like
You don't feel like yourself.
No, you don't. And like my brain fog is crazy, and it's like that annoys me, especially like running a podcast and you want to be on and like do all the right things, but that's just like you can't control that. And then I think, yeah, being super uncomfortable at night and your sleep's not the same. And then I think just there's that little bit of you're not doing what everyone else is doing. And it's been great to have Taylor and Riley. Like we can talk about it, and Taylor and I had a cry about it on the weekend. And it's just like, it's nothing against anyone. It's the season we're in and we're so excited, so grateful. But it's just like, fuck, like, I want to just go out and go for a beach swim. But it's like, I just want to stay on the couch and do absolutely nothing with the aircon on and watch TV. But it's just a roller coaster. Like I said, you can't preempt what your pregnancy is going to be. You have to just do what your body needs and know that it's not forever.
And I swear we always compare ourselves to like what we aren't doing. Because like, funny enough, I'm comparing myself to you and Taylor throughout this time. And it's like, I'm not even fucking pregnant, nor do I want to get that. But I swear you just compare naturally to the people around you, no matter what they're doing or what season of life you're in. But you just have to be so present in your situation and like accept what they're doing, but not let it get to you.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah.
Really.
And it's just like every season you're in, it doesn't last forever.
Exactly.
So you just have to, in a very few short months, we're going to have a newborn. So it's like, okay, just soak up the last few months of like just being selfish, which is also hard because I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. But it's like, okay, if you want to relax, just relax. Like soon you.
When's the next time ever in your life where you're just going to be able to lay on the couch and not have to, I don't know, wash baby's clothes or do anything like that, and
wash the bottles
you're exhausted and they're crying and you're like, I just want to be back pregnant again where I'm just laying on the couch and no one's crying.
Yeah. So you just got to embrace every part of it.
Yeah. A lot of people say that they resent their partner in pregnancy, even down to like their smell. We know someone who like literally hated their partner through pregnancy, and it's just your hormones and the things that happen because obviously your body doesn't want to reproduce. Like it's not in the lust and the love and the I want sex and all of these things because you're literally growing a human. It's like, oh, partner's job's done. Don't need them. Obviously till the baby comes. Have you found that come up for you at all?
Yeah, I would say a little bit early days, first trimester when I was like bedridden, couldn't get off the couch. But probably more so now this third trimester, Jackson being addicted to golf and just like having like there's so much going on with like the warehouse and his business taking off and him hiring to then be able to take a step back when Bub comes, and then his newfound obsession for golf, which love that for him. But this is the exact conversation Taylor and I had on the weekend because the boys were out playing golf, and it's like they left for golf on Sunday, and I just looked around and I was like, this house is a fucking mess. And he left as I was like putting the washing on, and I was like, don't worry, like I'll do the washing, it's fine. But I'm like, I don't expect him to stay at home and do that. Like I enjoy cleaning, and he's not like he'll be miserable if he stays home and clean. And then
And
it's
do
like
a shit job at it.
yeah, exactly. And then I have to redo it anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then he come home, we were just like having chat about it, and I was like, he's like, well, what activities do you want to do? And I was like, literally nothing. But that's so boring for him. Like he does not want to sit on the couch and watch a movie. He wants to go out and be outdoors, which amazing. And that's where I'm like, well, I do too, but I just don't have the energy for it. So that's where it's like you have that resentment of like, oh, fuck you. Like I want to go out and not necessarily play golf, but like go and have activities and do activities. But also I'm not going to take that away from him because, we're going to have a newborn soon. He won't be playing as much golf. He won't be working as much for that period. So it is really challenging, especially if you've had a really tough pregnancy and like nothing changes for them. Or even if you haven't had a tough pregnancy, like their bodies don't change. They can eat the same. Their palates don't change. They're not feeling reflux. They're not like.
They're not thinking about the baby 24/7 like you are.
Yeah. And it's like even recently when I'm at the stage now where you're tracking movements and it's like the other night, he's always crazy at night. He's always crazy kind of all day, every day. So I had a moment where he just like wasn't crazy and it was just like very minimal movements. It wasn't none, but it was minimal. And it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Do I go to the hospital? Do I get it checked?
And then you're like, well, what have I done? Because it's a healthy baby and now it's on me. Like,
and then, you like stress yourself out. And then Jackson's like, it's fine. Like, he's fine. You're fine. It's all going to be okay. I'm like, you're not carrying him and feeling what I'm feeling every minute of the day. And then, you're stressing because you're like, well, it's my fault if anything happens. And, you kind of just have these thoughts and conversations. But, it's like, it is what it is. Like, we're the women. We are carrying the baby. He's currently supporting us and doing all the things in that sense, but it does come up and you just get frustrated, but you have to know that it's like you can't change it. Like he is fine.
And he's a male. Like he literally doesn't carry the child.
Yeah, no. So it is really tricky, but I think open communication, being honest with them and telling them what you need to. Because I said to him that I was like, I don't want these fancy activities. Like one time in my first trimester, he wrote me a letter and left it on the bathroom and like bawled my eyes out because he was just like, I know how much you're struggling, but like you're amazing. Like this will all be worth it. And then I said to him the other day, I was like, I'm now week 30. You could write me another letter if you want, or just be like, hey, thanks for cleaning, or thank you for putting the effort to set up our home to make it feel nice and cozy. Like I know that doesn't mean a lot to him, but to hear it back and like know the effort that I'm putting into the house, or just those like words of affirmation, which for me is my love language. So I'm like, hey, I'm letting you go and play how many hours of golf?
18 holes.
18 holes. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He played 18 yesterday. On Monday morning, he went to the driving range this morning.
No way he did.
He did. Like he's obsessed and love that for him.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, hey, remember there's things that I love too. And it doesn't have to be big. Like literally when he's playing golf and he'll message me 3 or 4 times, either miss you or love you. And I'm like, oh, thanks so much.
He's thinking about me as he's gone for that whole one.
So I'm just like, little things. That's all I need.
I think that's the biggest thing as well. And just like any relationship is open communication. And my problem is, and I know a lot of girls are like this, is you expect your partner to read your mind and it annoys you when they don't. And then all of a sudden it bottles up inside you and then they do one tiny thing that actually shouldn't matter. But because you've been bottling it up and you haven't had that open communication, you explode. And then their situation is so much worse. And it's like you actually have to speak about these things when you're calm and you're present and nothing is actually happening. So you're not in that fiery mood. And it's like, oh, I appreciate when you do this. I like when you do this, because they don't know at all. And you just have to be so open with them.
Yep. You got to be honest.
But overall, you guys are slaying.
Yeah.
What has been the hardest part about pregnancy?
I would say every part. There's not much that hasn't been hard. Sorry. And I know the next question is the best part about pregnancy.
Yeah.
So the best part, because I feel like this is the easiest, is feeling him kick. Like just knowing he's in there and connecting with him, and then knowing that soon we get to hold him. Like that is literally the best part of pregnancy. Everything else is not fun. And that's just my experience. Like I have not had a fun time. I think just growing up as an athlete my whole life, I'm like, I don't like the feeling of not being able. And that's being like, because I'm nauseous, I have low iron. If I do too much, I will pass out. Like it's just like, I don't have the choice at the moment and I have to take it really slow. So I think just that's been really hard. And I've had so many different symptoms of, the acid reflux and the nausea and the headaches and like literally everything. So I won't sit here and say that I've enjoyed pregnancy, because I haven't. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to be so open about it, because I know so many women out there struggle with pregnancy and I just felt like it wasn't spoken about. So I wanted to be that person. And I follow so many women online who are, have been trying for so long and finally get pregnant, and then they're like, fucking, this is not fun. But you are just so grateful. But yeah, the best part is the bump is cool. Like I love the bump. I think I'll miss parts of it, but I think also I'll just be so much happier when he's here.
I do have a question that everyone like I feel like growing up and even myself now, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have a bump when you eat pizza or pasta and you feel bloated, and it does not matter. You get to have it out on. Is that like the best feeling?
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, especially, again, something that I've learned through being a gymnast is like suck and tuck, and you'd be the same for cheer. It's like you're always sucking in. Like I've just learned that my whole life. So it's like now I don't ever have to because I can't.
Yeah.
For one. But second, it's like you can eat whatever and
It doesn't matter.
nothing changes. You just feel tighter.
Yeah.
So if you overeat, it's not very comfortable at all. But it is very cool because you're just like, oh, bumps
Is
out.
what it is.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. What does it feel like with him kicking in there, like, and having that tight skin around? Because like sometimes it makes me feel a little bit nauseous and sick thinking about it.
No, it makes you feel nauseous and sick when he's going crazy and like the rolls.
Yeah.
It kind of like when he goes ham, you're just like, oh my God, like I feel nauseous.
But like, do you kind of freak out there's something growing in you?
I think
like
when
bones.
you overthink it.
And like, oh, I get heebie-jeebies.
When you overthink it and you start to like, oh, there's like fingers and toes and like femurs inside of me. But the feeling of them just like moving around is like, I think no matter what, you'll just love it. The craziest thing is when there's like an arm up against you and like you feel a bone, like it's hard, like he's rolling around now. But it's like, how did I explain it the other day? I think it was like, you know, when you have, say, like slime.
Your tongue?
Oh yeah, like if you get your who said that?
That was you.
Oh, I think someone said it to me, but you know when you like close your mouth and you move your tongue around your mouth, it's kind of like that. Like when they're rolling, sometimes you get a like little jab. And it's crazy as you start to get bigger, like you feeling like full on limbs and stuff.
Could you know where his head is right now?
Nah.
Yeah,
I can't tell. The last time I saw my midwife, she was like his head down, back's around the side, and then feet are coming up over to your right side. So I feel lots and lots and lots of little tiny flutters really, really low, like almost where my pelvic bone is.
Wow.
And when I saw her, she was like, that's probably his like hands up around like his head and face. Because it's just like tiny little tutters. Like it's just the cutest thing ever.
Wow.
And those ones are the best. And then up is like all the kicks and the roll. Like this morning
so
he was
his
up
legs
under
are
my
up.
ribs. Yeah, which is great if he's still that way heading into labour because you want them head down. But it's crazy when you go see a midwife because they like check his heart rate, they measure him and just like have a feel around. And she'll literally be like, oh, yep, like they're pushing hard and he hates it and he's like kicking around. But she's like, yep, that's his head. I can feel up his back here because they're really pushing in. I did feel his head. You could like kind of push it between your fingers when I saw her. But I'm always scared to like push too hard. So I just don't do it.
Yeah, so fair.
But yeah, it's a weird, crazy, amazing feeling.
Yeah. Going onto social media, a lot of parents hide their children, and completely understandable. Everyone obviously has their different perspectives on it. Are you going to post your child online? Are you going to kind of give us a rundown of your thought process behind that?
I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to have like a family channel. I've always wanted to share the journey. And I look up to so many women that do and completely understand and respect the people that don't. But for where I stand right now and where I kind of always have is I will be sharing them online, and I just want to go with the flow. Like if I get to a point where maybe I don't feel comfortable, then I'll stop. But as of right now, yeah. And I just know like I've followed so many people who have then like stopped sharing, and I'm like, oh, like I miss seeing it. And I know it's completely their choice and for the safety of their kids and their family. But I personally can't wait. And I know a lot of people that do it and they love it and they love sharing the journey. So I literally can't wait.
I feel like there's also a fine line between what you post as well. It's not like you're going to post your son running around naked in the backyard or like something embarrassing happening to them, and you're not posting and publicly sharing that.
It's all the close friends.
Yeah. It's also fun, the nice, the moments and all things like that as well. And obviously you're not posting what school he's going to and little things like that do obviously make a big difference to their safety. But I also understand you have like 1 million followers and a crazy fan base, probably terrifying.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah.
And I look at like Molly May, like Bambi's online. And,
Yeah, true, actually.
You know, like it's,
I didn't even think of that.
yeah. And she's freaking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about weight gain and seeing your body change through pregnancy, how have you gone around that? And do you even know how much weight you have gained?
Not
I know you
really.
lost 6 in the first try.
I did lose 6, which I feel like I cheated the system. So I know like where I started when I got back from Melbourne, finished acro, like literally the second I fell pregnant. Then I did lose 6. I had to jump on the other day for my midwife. And I can't even remember what it was. And I just don't read into it because I'm like, I'm growing my son. Like I've actually struggled way less with body image than I thought I would.
That's great.
I think definitely more towards third trimester where I'm like, oh, I'm starting to notice it in my face or my legs or my arms, which are probably like my most insecure parts. Or even like, you know, when your feet get swollen and in your calves are just like one straight line. There's no like muscle.
Yeah.
But I actually am kind of proud of myself with how I've navigated that because you just constantly think about what's inside you and what's coming because, you know, I can get back to the gym and I can get back to hopefully a feel-good position in myself physically, but it does change and I think it almost changes so quickly in like I feel like first and second trimester, I feel like I didn't really pop until 22 weeks. And then I feel like from there it's just like, oh my God, all of a sudden my bump is huge.
And like in the nicest way possible, it's like bigger than Taylor Riley's as well. Like you're last, but technically look first.
Yeah,
which
like
is crazy.
And I do just feel so rare. Like I literally have 2 basketballs in me. And everyone's like, you're just belly, which I'm like, great, so nice to hear, but I can notice it.
Yeah, you're like, I know.
I can see it in my arms, I can see it in my legs. But I also have been through a weight gain period of my life where I know I got straight back. And I know obviously pregnancy is so different. But again, it's like I'm excited for the challenge postpartum and like to get back to just feeling good and feeling strong and like lifting some sort of weight would be really nice. But I think if you struggle, you really just have to come back to like, I'm creating life. And it's like the most magical thing your body could ever do. And you don't actually have to do anything to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like they're growing organs and arms and limbs and lungs and a heart.
And your body just knows what to do.
Without even you having to do anything.
Put a code in.
Yeah.
Code.
Yeah. It's like, it's insane. And when you experience it, you're like, oh my God, wild. So yeah.
Do you have any stretch marks yet or anything come up on your stomach?
Nothing on my stomach. I have so many people comment on my bump, like just on the street, like around my neighborhood. They're like, oh my God, your bump's insane. I'm like, thanks so much.
It's glowing.
Yeah. And I have spoken to a lot of people about this and it really does truly come down to genetics. Nothing, I've noticed no stretch marks on my belly. I can't see under my belly, so I'm not really sure.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I've noticed cellulite on my legs, which I'm like, don't love that because I've never really had cellulite except for when I gained weight. But then when I lost weight, it went away. But no stretch marks. And again, I think my mum didn't really, my sister didn't really. My sister, like, you think I'm big? I need to find a photo of my sister.
Really? She was huge?
And she's like your frame. Like she's tiny. Her first was huge. Her belly was just massive. And
crazy.
she snapped back like so quick. So I really like, you can use all the oils and you can use all the moisturizers, which are amazing. But I think majority is genetics.
It's literally just like how people say, how do I get abs? It's like you can try all the supplements in the world, but it is just genetics at the end of the day.
Literally.
It is.
Yeah. I do love Bang & Body oil and moisturizer, the firming lotion, and then Pure Mama skincare oil.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Your food. People say you have like aversions or you're like craving different foods. Do you have any cravings? Or anything you feel like you constantly eat?
Carbs.
Yes.
Definitely. Constantly just want like bread or love my ham and cheese and Vegemite scrolls at the moment from Baker's Delight. It's so good. But yeah, mostly carbs. I honestly have teriyaki chicken, rice and veg every single day. Like it's all I want. Red meats, I think I could count on my hands how many times I've had it in 30 weeks. I just get random cravings. Like for a couple of weeks there, it was Wheat Bix. And then a couple of weeks, it was 2-minute noodles.
You loved your Wheat Bix in the morning. True with honey. Yeah.
Every morning. Then it was 2-minute noodles. Then it was like randomly craved ice cream at night. And then like, it's not like super, super strong. You just kind of get it and you're like, oh, I need that. And then you eat it and you're like, okay.
Do you know how people go off coffee when they first have it? Obviously, you don't like coffee, but has the smell been even worse for you, or has it not really changed?
I've always hated it. So
Yeah,
just
okay,
the
you
same.
just hate it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so interested to see if I go off it.
Yeah. It'd be
Because
interesting.
there was one time, like years ago, where I just woke up one day and I was like, coffee makes me feel sick. And mum was like, coffee made me, and mum's addicted to coffee as well. And she's like, that was the one sign I knew I was pregnant, because I went
Yeah.
off coffee. And she was like, are you pregnant? I was like, no, I'm literally on my cycle. She's like, that's so weird then.
Yeah. The only thing that really got me first trimester was like Jackson's deodorant and cologne.
Oh.
Like he'd spray it in the bathroom. If I walked past, I'd vomit straight away. And I can't think of, that was the main thing, was his deodorant.
Interesting.
Or even if I sprayed, like sometimes I would put my roll-on on and straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just kind of go with the cravings.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like this morning I'm like, oh, I would never just have like cereal for breakfast. Like always try and have my savory for breakfast first and focus on the healthy fats and yada yada. But I'm like, oh, in a couple of months I will be back to normal. So I'm going to make the most of it.
Yeah, so
I'm gaining weight anyway. He's growing.
May as well.
So I'm going to eat those cheesy Mite scrolls.
Yeah.
And the Golden Gay Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
With your work, you obviously work on social media. Are you going to continue like posting on socials as regularly, and are you going to take any time like off through that period? Like, what's your thought process navigating around having the newborn and working?
I definitely would take time off working in the sense of like brand deals and anything like that, and like podcast stuff. We've got to work out like how we want to batch and things like that, because we don't want to leave you guys hanging for too long, but there will be some spot there because then you go away as well. But kind of handing that over, and then brand deals. I will probably take off like, it's hard because you just don't know when they're going to come. I know come June, I feel like I'm going to be pretty at capacity physically, just like feeling, all the things. So I think from June I'll start to slow down, and then July I'll definitely have July off work.
Yeah.
My plan is to still document as much as possible. And I've told Jackson, I'm like, I want you vlogging every day. I want you filming as much as you can so I can just like put a reel together and do a voiceover. So my plan is to still post very frequently. Obviously, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, when you want to start.
But yeah, I'm like, Jackson, film as much as you can. So at least if, I'm sitting there breastfeeding, I can edit a reel and get that up. Just because I do really love posting, and
they grow so fast.
They grow so fast, and I hate leaving people hanging. Like I'm like, I hate when someone's had a baby and then I'm like, post every single second. And I know like I'll give myself time or whatever, but I enjoy it.
I think the biggest thing as well though, like people say you have to give yourself time. It's like, but if you don't want to, and you enjoy what you do, then what's the point? Like if you're not stressed, if you're not like getting anxious about it, it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it's more just like film it so I have it. And like for my own memories as well. Like Jackson, like film as much as you can, and like I want photos of like him and Bub as well. But it's like I don't want to be, I need to film this brand reel. Like that's not happening. Yeah. And that doesn't feel clean for me. So I've definitely said a month, and then we'll just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a baby name yet? Mm-hmm. Do you have like a reason why you chose that name?
Yeah, well, I had lots of names and Jackson didn't like any of them.
Perfect.
So then we were on ChatGPT one day and we were like, give us like a unique boy's name that's not like too out the box. And we're just going through it, and I read one and we both were like, that's nice. I like that. We liked like the power behind it. It's easy to pronounce, easy to spell. And nothing else stood out. Like even like weeks after we were still looking, and then we were just like,
I was like weirdly convinced that you were going to change it. And
Really?
I was like, because Kate was like, get them something with that name on it. And I was like, I just feel like they're going
Well, I
to
already
change
have.
it.
So
Yeah, I
so
know.
many
And I was
things.
just like, okay, and I'm going to hold off a little bit. But now I obviously know that you're not going to change it at all. But I was just like, something in me just feels like you're going to change it. But maybe
mean-
because you chose it so early.
yeah, no,
Like
I was
literally
even
within
like,
the first month.
Yeah. It was like the week after we found out we went for a walk and
Yeah.
like said it.
I think that's why, because I was like, it's so early on.
Yeah.
There's so much time
No, I
to
thought
change it.
I would
Yeah.
too. And then like just nothing stick. And then when you start calling them that, you just like you don't see it as anything else. But then in saying that, I had a name when I was in my mum's belly for the whole time. The second I was born, she hated it. So like could happen.
Could happen.
But I don't think it will.
I don't think it will.
We wouldn't, this name is unisex. We wouldn't use it if it was a girl.
Yeah, fair.
Only for a boy. So we had one boy name and one girl name. I still love the girl name.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that. And a lot of people are like, boy names you're not using. But I'm like, what if I have a boy again? And I use that name. So I'm like, I don't want to say
Boy names you're really not using.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have that much of a list.
What are you most excited to be a mum about?
Literally everything. I feel like I'm about to step in the phase that I've wanted my whole life. I'm like excited to change nappies. I'm excited to put him in these little outfits, and I just want my pram so I can take it on the street even without the baby.
Oh my God, you look so cool.
I just can't wait. Like I've always loved pretending to be a mum, or like, you know, like if I was with my siblings or my nieces, nephews, or Mel's kids, I would be like, yeah, I'll change the nappy. Like I love it so much. So I'm just excited to see like how I feel with my own child.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see Jackson as a dad. When we were talking about this the other night, we were like, what are you most excited about? And he was like, I'm excited to watch you like step into your element. And I was like, okay, tears. And then he said, I'm excited to hold him for the first time. I'm like, that would just be crazy.
I think what I keep thinking is crazy. Like, I know you're having a newborn, but I forget that it's going to get older. And I'm like, oh, you're going to have a 12-year-old son. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. But just literally everything. There's not one thing I'm not excited about. Maybe like breastfeeding if it goes the way our friend's gone and like her nipples are fucked. I'm like, oh. She's like, start rubbing bricks on your nipples because you need to like warm them up. And I was like,
no. I'm like literally playing with mine right now.
I know. I'm like, oh, scary.
That's crazy. A few more questions left.
Yeah.
Have you experienced any cramping or round ligament pain?
Lots. I had a lot of people DM me being like, did you have period pain? And I was like, yes, like so often. I wouldn't say as much now because your third trimester, they're basically developed somewhat and they're just growing in size. I know the last thing to develop is their lungs, but I had so much period cramping, which at the start I was like, is this normal?
Yeah, am I about to give birth?
When you think about like pregnancy symptoms or period symptoms, like, you know, you get the lower back pain and then you crave things, whatever. Like they are very similar in terms of your hormones. So yeah, lots of cramping. Cramping's settled. Definitely lots of round ligament pain, just everything's stretching. Everything's being compressed. Lots of constipation that happens. And just like, he's just so big now. You lay on the side, he just all goes to the side and then you try and roll over. It's like every night I wake up to roll over like multiple times because you just like obviously subconsciously you just like don't want to squish it or whatever. But yeah, lots of cramps, lots of interesting. Yeah.
Do you have a birth plan?
Yes.
Do you want to speak us through a little bit?
Yeah. I started this like very early days when I spoke to like our hairdresser because she was pregnant and she was quite far ahead of me. And as I started to like learn things, I just started to jot things down in what feels comfortable for me going into labor. So things like I'm going in with like unmedicated in mind. I actually saw a TikTok this morning of this girl being like, I've had 3 births and she was like, the first one within my first contraction, she was like, give me that epidural. She's like, couldn't hack it. Then the second her labor went so fast, she didn't have time for an epidural. So then by the third, she was like, I actually can do it. But she was like, I went into it with the mindset of like, I'm not having an epidural instead of we'll see what happens. Because when you're in that state and you're so vulnerable and someone offers you pain relief, you're probably going to say yes. So in my head, I'm like, no pain relief. And
obviously this might be a dumb question, but like obviously like Panadol and Nurofen not going to do anything, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
I don't even think that gets...
Is it
That's
so
exciting? Okay, cool. Obviously, natural birth is my goal. The least amount of interventions as possible. There's just like so many different things. Like I don't want a stretch and sweep, which is like essentially where they go in and stretch and sweep to get things moving.
Wait, why not?
I just don't want anything, like I want it to come on all naturally.
Right.
Like I don't want my waters broken. I don't want to be induced. and people are going to have their opinions on it. This is where I stand. I've done so much research. I've done so much learning, and this is what feels good for me. I was going to say.
And it's also like, I was going to say, if things come up and it has to happen, of course you're going to put them
You're
first.
going to make the right decision for what's for you and your baby in that moment. 1,000%. Okay, so there's a stat of like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's like for first-time pregnancy or first-time mums, it is so common for women to go over the 40-week mark. It's like 40 weeks and 4 days and 41 and 3 or something like that. And I'm not going to say numbers, I can't remember them, but I'm prepared to go over. I was born at 42 weeks. I think Jackson was maybe 41.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm like, please come early. Please come at 38. That feels fun. Felix, I just want to meet you. But I'm like, I want you to be fully developed. And two things that I've really just loved hearing is your baby is the right size for your body. And secondly is they will come when they're ready. So I really just, because even when I went to my first hospital appointment, which was very late because I've got a private midwife, she was like, once you get to 40 weeks, we'll start talking about induction at 41. And I was like, no, we won't. Like,
did you say that to her or just go, mm-hmm?
No, she was actually really good.
Okay.
I was actually quite surprised, but very well aware the next midwife could be completely different. But she was like reading through everything. But after she said everything, she was like, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. And I was like, wow, actually very shocked. Everything is your choice. It's your body. It's your baby at the end of the day. It's just having the right support team to speak up for you, because when you're in labor, like I'm not being in that room making decisions. Like Jackson will know the plan. My midwife will know the plan. Anyone who's there to support me will know the plan and what route to take, because you're just so out of it, or you're not in the right position to make decisions. So for me, it's just like having those things, I want lights off. I want no one to talk to me except for Jackson and my midwife, and if my mum's there. I would love to have, like, I'll have the bath as an option. I think I'll like the shower more because I think I get really hot in the bath. Things like, obviously, we want immediate skin to skin, and for minimum an hour for both Jackson and I. I'll hopefully do delayed cord cutting so that everything can, like, he can get all the nutrients possible. Just like little things like leaving the vernix on him for as long as possible, which is like all the white stuff they come out with, because there's so many like nutrients in that. And again, it's like I have this quote unquote plan, but I'm well aware that things can go differently and things can change very, very fast. But we know our options. We know our rights. We know, kind of what the medical system can push for. I've always wanted a home birth, and I think for my second, like, it'll be 100%. But I kind of and ahed at the beginning, and I was like, nah, I'll birth at home, labor at home for as long as I can, then move to the hospital on a midwife's call. And then I started doing hypnobirthing and learning so much, and I was like, I want to be at home. Like, I want to be in my state, because so many women go to the hospital and on their transfer, their labor slows down just because the lights and, the beeping and so much going on, overstimulating. But there's just like a bit of, like, not complications, but it might not necessarily work with my midwife as she's like moving away, and it's just timing of things. So I'm just like looking into that. But yeah, my goal is to labor at home for as long as possible and then head to the hospital and
give birth.
Hop him out.
Do you have a TENS machine?
Yes, I've hired one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Can I get to feel it?
When I get it, yeah.
Okay.
Because you can buy them, but a lot of midwives or private midwives or like Shari Hypnobirthing, she hires them out. I think she has like 6.
Wow.
So I think you hire them for like 6 weeks.
Is it electric pulses? Like, what is it?
So
I think
like,
actually, I don't think I want that.
I feel like it's not that bad. I think you would like it.
Really?
It's like a lot of like athletes can use it.
Oh.
Taylor and I were saying we don't know if it's like specific pregnancy ones are different, because my dad had one for years and he's loved it. Because it's like muscle stimulation, and a lot of people have said they loved theirs.
Right.
Like a friend of mine was like, if I wasn't in the bath, I had that TENS machine on. Apparently another thing is like sour lollies. Like if really, really sour lollies can sometimes take away from the
I can
pain.
get that.
So Taylor's like, I've got sour warheads like ready. Someone was like sour squirms. I'm like, they're not sour.
No.
Sour warheads.
Yeah.
Like the extra sour ones.
I had one in New Zealand that was like, I don't know, just like actual gumball. And it was like, I needed to spit it out.
Yeah,
I was like, my jaw is hurting.
Yeah, I need to go to a lolly shop
and
get some sour ones. And just like, prepping as much food for me, like I don't know if I will eat or not, but at least it's there. But also prepping for Jackson. Like everyone talks about your hospital bag, the baby's hospital bag. He needs one too.
Yeah.
He needs coffee, oxy shreds, change of clothes,
Laptop, charger.
all the cameras, the podcast mic.
Tripod.
Yeah. So yeah, very much like have, the plan and it is more like medical, it's like if this happens, this is your options. What would you do? And then obviously you're taking that to the hospital and being like, this is
My game plan.
this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting.
Final question. If you could go back and say one piece of advice to yourself at the start of the pregnancy, what would it be?
Just be ready for anything. I think I really had in my head what pregnancy was going to look like, and it's been everything but. So I think just going into it with open mind, have no expectations, and just be ready to support your body. Have a support system around you if you can, and you could absolutely slay and get along through 40 weeks like it's nothing, or it could be the hardest 40 weeks of your life. But it's just not having expectations or standards on it, and trusting your body is, doing what it needs to do to create your child. And just surrender. It is hard, but you got to surrender.
And nothing else you can do but get through.
Yeah. It'll be all worth it no matter what your pregnancy looks like.
It will.
Yeah.
Wow. That was very insightful.
Yeah.
I feel like people are going to love that episode. I feel like I learned a lot just like asking all of the questions. I'm just so excited to see this next chapter of your life.
I can't wait.
So crazy.
And I could in a few months just be here breastfeeding as we record.
Exactly. I'm ready for it.
I can't wait to say his name.
I know. Whenever I speak about him, I feel like I have to slow down what I'm saying and concentrate. And I'm like, don't say it.
It's like when we didn't say boy or girl. Now at least we can say him.
I think that was harder.
That was
hard.
so hard. Yeah. Yeah. But not long, guys.
Yeah.
So soon.
All right.
Well, thanks so much. If there's any more questions that come through, let us know and we'll do another one closer on.
Yeah.
But we'll continue to give you the updates and all the things. But we love you so much, and we're glad that you're loving all the episodes.
Same.
As always, if there's anything you want to hear, a certain topic or questions,
let us know.
There will be a bit of a shift as we go into the studio and set ourselves up to go ham. We feel like we're doing a lot.
Yeah.
But the podcast will be a nice...
I feel like we're doing alone, just staying still.
Yeah. The podcast studio will be a nice change up and...
Level up.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in your ears on Thursday.
Bye.